Silent Hill F is finally here, and the reactions have been anything but silent. Some say it's a haunting masterpiece, the bold reinvention the series needed after years in limbo. Others call it a flop, too slow, too clunky, and too far removed from what made Silent Hill legendary. So today, we're diving deep into the reviews, the player reactions, and the game itself to answer one big question. Is Silent Hill F a masterpiece or a total flop? When Konami announced Silent Hill F, the hype was instant. Fans had been starved for over a decade, watching Silent Hill fade into obscurity while Resident Evil surged back through indie gems and games like Alan Wake. Silent Hill F promised something new. A story set in 1960s Japan, written by horror novelist Ryukishi 07. Blending psychological terror with folklore-inspired horror, the trailers teased crimson flowers blooming out of corpses, eerie villages swallowed by decay, and a new kind of nightmare. But with great hype comes crushing expectations. And when you're reviving a series with as much history as Silent Hill, you're stepping into dangerous territory. So what did critics think? Well, the reviews tell a complicated story. The positives. Many outlets praise the atmosphere. The game is dripping with tension. Environments feel oppressive and dreamlike. Sound design messes with your head, and the narrative dares to push Silent Hill in a new direction. Some critics even called it the scariest entry since Silent Hill 2, highlighting its grotesque visuals and psychological horror. The storytelling also stood out. Critics familiar with Ryukishi 07's previous works praised how Silent Hill F blends folklore, curses, and trauma into a slow-burn horror experience. For some, it felt like stepping into a living nightmare novel. But with great praise came sharp criticism. Many complained about the pacing, long stretches of walking, dialogue-heavy segments, and what some called dead air. Others targeted the combat, describing it as clunky, outdated, and frustrating rather than terrifying. Some reviewers felt the game struggled with an identity crisis, half survival horror, half interactive story, and that it didn't fully succeed at either. Some thought it was chilling and brilliant. Others thought it was rushed and unsatisfying. In short, critics agree Silent Hill F is ambitious, but whether it succeeds depends on how much you value atmosphere over mechanics. But critics are just one part of the story. What about the fans? The enthusiastic camp. On social media, you'll find players calling Silent Hill F a terrifying work of art. They're praising the story, the enemy designs, and the tension that builds with every step. For newcomers to the series, Silent Hill F feels fresh, modern, and unlike anything else in horror gaming right now. But longtime fans, many are frustrated. They miss the balance of puzzles, resource management, and exploration that defined the older games. Some describe F as too much story, not enough survival. Others feel it uses the Silent Hill name, but doesn't quite capture the essence. Reddit threads are filled with debates. Some argue Silent Hill F is the franchise's boldest step in years. Others say it's proof Konami still doesn't know what fans want. Few players are neutral. People either love it or hate it. Where most people agree Silent Hill F shines is in its atmosphere. The shift to 1960s Japan gives the game a fresh identity. It blends Silent Hill's psychological dread with Japanese folklore, creating something both familiar and alien. Villages overrun with crimson flowers, abandoned houses echoing with whispers, and surreal dream sequences keep players unsettled. And then there's the creature design. The body horror in Silent Hill F is grotesque. Humans blooming into flowers, twisted figures moving in unnatural ways. Visually, it might be the most disturbing Silent Hill yet. If you play horror games for the atmosphere, Silent Hill F delivers in spades. But then there's the gameplay, and this is where the divide grows. Combat is sparse, but when it does appear, many found it awkward. Weapons feel weak, controls are clunky, and the flow of fight sometimes breaks the immersion. Enemies are terrifying in design, but not always in execution, with AI that can be inconsistent. Exploration works better. Players who take their time find hidden notes, unsettling lore, and environmental storytelling that adds depth. But the pacing, those long stretches where not much happens, tests patience. For some, this adds to the dread, amplifying the feeling of isolation. For others, it feels like filler that drags the game down. Every new Silent Hill gets compared to the classics, especially Silent Hill 2. And that's where things get tricky. Silent Hill 2 balanced atmosphere, puzzles, and combat in a way that became legendary. Silent Hill F leans much more towards narrative and psychological horror, closer to an interactive novel than traditional survival horror. Some fans call this evolution. Others call it abandonment. Compared to weaker entries like Downpour or Homecoming, Silent Hill F feels ambitious and artistic. But compared to Silent Hill 2 or 3, it falls short for many fans. So, why is the community so split? It all comes down to expectations. If you came looking for a classic Silent Hill experience, F probably feels like a letdown. But if you were open to a bold experiment, a slower and more narrative-driven kind of horror, then it's easy to see Silent Hill F as a masterpiece. In other words, it's not a safe game. It takes risks, and risk almost always means division. So, what does Silent Hill F mean for the future of the series? The game proves Konami is willing to take chances. It's not a lazy remake or a cash grab. It's ambitious, experimental, and willing to push Silent Hill into new territory. For some, that's exciting. For others, it's worrying. If Silent Hill continues down this narrative-heavy path, we might see more bold stories, but less of the classic gameplay fans still crave. Either way, Silent Hill F has people talking, and for a series that's been dormant for so long, that's a victory in itself. So, Silent Hill F, masterpiece or flop? The truth is, it's both. It's ambitious, haunting, and atmospheric, but it's also flawed, divisive, and not what everyone wanted. It's a bold step forward, but not the perfect rebirth. What's clear is that Silent Hill F isn't forgettable. Love it or hate it, it sparked passionate debates, and that means it hit a nerve. And maybe, just maybe, that's what Silent Hill was always meant to do. Until next time, stay out of the fog.